All right, guys, can you do me a favor and tell me why, when I joined Anytime Fitness, they didn't have this join for $1 promo? If you can't afford, I'm sure after fees and stuff it's more than $1, but if you can't afford $1 for a gym membership, come on. All right, come on, guys. We can't be doing that now. Hey, welcome back. Jason here. Been working on leaning down, really into bodybuilding. So if that's something you like, hit that subscribe button. Hang out with me every once in a while as I talk about my workouts and my experiences after going to the gym for 10 plus years. Uh, I've been inconsistent, but the last few years last couple years, I've really locked in for the most part. And we're having a refocus on the diet and try to really lean down because I've really packed on some muscle and I really want to see what it looks like. So today is push day. We're about to get in there and get to work. But I'll see you guys on the inside. Hey guys, how's it going? We got some questions we're gonna answer about my push day workout that I just completed. And I will say I felt a little off, a little sluggish, but I did just work 6 days in a row and my sleep has been off a little bit. So I'm sure that's a contributing factor. So let's just jump into these questions, shall we? So this one's about the supine press. That was my first exercise. I did 2 sets here. Did you maintain control and scapular retraction throughout the movement to keep tension on your chest and protect your shoulders? So that's definitely something that I've worked on a lot when I'm working out my chest is, tucking my shoulders in, i.e. scapular retraction. When you do that, you take a lot of the pressure off of your shoulders. So if you have some shoulder injuries or some things like that you're dealing with, that's going to be a good way to help, get through that. And of course, warm up your rotator cuff before you hit chest. Whether you have problems or not, it's going to be a preventive measure, right? So yeah, I do like to tuck my shoulders in and really focus on pushing with my chest. And a lot of times you'll see guys and they'll just be throwing the weight around. For one, you're asking for injury. 2, you're not hitting your chest as hard as you can. So as much as it's an injury prevention kind of deal, it also helps you engage your chest a lot more. So absolutely tuck those shoulders in and focus on pushing with your chest, whatever chest exercise it is. And then after that, I moved on to cable press. It's become another favorite of mine because, I did deal with the shoulder injury and I've been finding ways to hit my chest as hard as I can while also taking as much pressure off of my shoulders as I can. This ongoing battle, it's a long-term battle, and, just finding ways around re-injuring it has been extremely beneficial to me. So cable press, I did 2 sets there. Were you able to keep your core engaged and elbows slightly tucked to avoid shoulder dominance and maintain chest activation? Yes, that's exactly what I did. And that's exactly what I was talking about. So cable press, the way I do it is I set it kind of high, I lean forward, and I do tense my core, and I do try to keep my elbows tucked in. And when I push, especially the last few reps, it feels just like a cable fly, but it's taking all the pressure off of your shoulder. It really starts to burn. And if you've really pushed a cable fly or a cable press really far, that stinging sensation you get. Those 2 exercises are the main ones I do for chest. And, every once in a while I'll throw in some barbell bench press just because I like it. Incline presses kind of bother my shoulders. So that was it for chest. We moved on to shoulders. And generally I'll do cable lateral raises and dumbbell, but this time I opted to do 3 hard sets of cable lateral raises. So the question regarding that is, were your wrists neutral and did you lead with your elbows to ensure that the tension stayed on your medial delts rather than letting your traps take over? So that's actually a really interesting question. For the most part, I think I do, but I do think I still hit my traps a little bit, especially when I try to push the weight too heavy on cable lateral raises. because if you've ever done those, you know you don't really need like a lot of heavy weight. So, you know, it's really a exercise that you tend to stay on the lighter sort of the spectrum for. But the biggest thing that I've done is raise the cable to, like if you're standing straight with your arms straight beside you, you want the cable to be even with that. That way it's staying under tension the whole time, because when it's low, the tension leaves. But if you keep it there, it keeps the tension on your shoulder. And, you know, it's just an exercise you have to practice. It's something you have to do over and over again until you get better at it. But I think I have, and I think I do lead with my elbows a little bit, but my side delts definitely burn after I finish a few sets of that one. So after that, we moved on to triceps. We started with a warm-up, single arm, didn't record that one. And the first working set was rope press downs. Last week, or the last time I did triceps, I did the bar, and I felt a little twinge in my elbow, so I figured I'd try something a little different this time and focus more on, instead of even though my technique was decent, instead of focusing on throwing weight around, really move the weight with intention. And when you do cable press downs the right way, and you get that, we're going over the technique before I even read the question. Let's read the question first. Blah, blah, blah. So I did 2 sets here. Did you fully extend at the elbow and slightly flare the rope at the bottom for peak triceps contraction without letting your shoulders or upper body rock forward? So I do tend to lean forward a little bit, but I definitely don't rock my body to try to throw the weight down. So that is a good question, and I would say yes. I really focused on the stretch at the top, you know, to really flex my triceps, and then flex at the bottom, pressing, send a burning sensation through my whole triceps here. And yeah, it felt really good. Focused on at the bottom, flaring the rope out like it said, and squeezing. And after 2 sets of that one, my triceps were burning pretty good. So I finished off my push day workout / triceps with some overhead cable extensions. I've just seen it so many times that you need to have some kind of overhead movement when you're working out triceps, because it hits the long head of your tricep better. But the question for that one is, were your elbows locked in a stable position without flaring excessively, allowing you to isolate the long head of your triceps effectively? So I wouldn't say it's new, it's relatively new. I've only been doing this exercise for about 6 months off and on. So I definitely have some technique to work on. For the most part, I think my elbow stays in the same position. And when I extend and I flex, I feel it burning throughout my tricep. And on this one, when you go real deep behind your neck, like real deep, you feel a good stretch in it. So it does help with that mind-muscle connection, which is important. But yeah, I feel like my technique has come a long way in that one. And overall, I'm pretty excited about the work that happened. So last question is, what exercise felt the most dialed in today in terms of mind-muscle connection, and which one fell off or needs refinement in technique? So the one that fell off the most today was the very first exercise I did, was the supine press. And I think I just accumulated some kind of fatigue going at work and just the lack of sleep I've got. Because last time I did 3 plates, this time I did 2 plates in a 25. So that one felt the most off. It wasn't technique related or warm-up related. It was just a little bit of fatigue I had throughout my body, which is okay. It's going to happen sometimes. Which one felt the most dialed in as far as mind-muscle connection? I'd probably say the overhead extensions, because I was just talking about that one. It felt pretty good today. I don't know if it's because it was at the end of my workout, but the deep stretch, the extension, like everything about it felt really good. So overall, excited about today's workout. Nutrition has been dialed in, been eating about 2,500 calories, 180 grams of protein every day. Scale is kind of steady, but I might be dropping down to 2,000 calories for a while. It's been so long that I've been trying to get super lean, and You know, when I first started this journey, I was 205 pounds, and I got all the way down to 180 in just a matter of months, and then I just kind of plateaued. You know, there's really no excuse for it. You know, in the beginning, I was like, I'm going to try to cut down as far as I can, and I didn't follow through with that. So all I can do is show you guys what I'm doing, reset, recover, try again, and that's what we're doing right now. We're still trying to get lean. But appreciate you guys joining me. Don't let that dreamer die. Keep the grind alive. Never give up on yourself. I'll see you guys on the next one.